Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington. Today I'm bringing you guys another Pool Week video, and let's see, I've got 6 books to review today, and 3 of them are online. I got half and half, so I'm just gonna get started right away with the first book online, and that's X-O Manowar issue number 11. This is written by Robert Venditti, and art is by Carrie Nord, and this is the first issue to Planet Death, and I've been really excited to start reading this because I definitely like all the preceding issues, all the prequels to it, the preludes. And so this whole thing was built up a lot, and in this issue, where it was a good issue, I didn't feel the build up to it. It was really good. It was a good issue, but I didn't feel the impact that it was gonna have. I felt like as soon as, like where we left off with issue 10, when we start with issue 11, things are gonna be rolling. Things are gonna be starting to happen. Where at the beginning of this, we did get the origin behind the Manowar armor and the whole story behind the vine and all this kind of stuff, and then Eric comes in, and then things start rolling. But I was ready for it to just start, just boom, and we'll get to it. Now, the end of this is really great. It's gonna pave the way for a very compelling story that's going to be happening just by, Eric's motivations, and then, how they're going to have to change, and that's all I'm going to really say. But definitely, it's a good issue. I thought it was going to pick up right away, but we did. It was well written. Next, I'm going to be reviewing Savage Wolverine, issue number 3, and got this online, like I said I was going to, and the story's starting to move a little more. We're getting a little more story behind what's really going on in the Savage Land. We got a lot of Armadius Cho. I can't really say his first name, but we got a lot of Cho in it. Not the writer, but the character. And we get a lot of story points from him. And Wolverine and Shawn are not featured very much in this issue, which was kind of disappointing when you have a Savage Wolverine book and you have Wolverine on the cover and his book, and he's barely in it. He's in it for like a third of the book, and then the first 2/3 of the book we're dealing with not Wolverine at all, and he did throw out 2 cripes pretty much back to back, like back to back panels, I think it was. So that gave me a laugh, because that's the main complaint that I think anybody who's complained about this book has had, is that he talks out of character. And also there's this part where he's like thinking, but it's way too writer-like. It's almost like reading what you're seeing in the scene, and like Cho writes it as if it's a book, like a novel, where you don't have the scene drawn out in front of you to see. So and it was too descriptive, and so that was another thing. But as always, the art is great. The story did move along a bit more, but am I digging Savage Wolverine as much as I thought I would? And as much as, the other Wolverine title, like Wolverine number 1, nah. I think I'm just gonna, after the story arc, I might just stick with one Wolverine title. Next, and this is from Sleepy Reader 666, brought me to light on this, and this is Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin. They're doing an independent book, and they're releasing it online, and you can pay for whatever amount of money you want for it. They want to do 10 issues, and you can download it now. It's a digital, of course, And so I paid 99 cents for it just because, you know, I don't want to pay for a book and then not like it, and, you know, have had the option to, you know, not pay for that much, but I did want to give them something. So I paid 99 cents, and next issue I'm gonna pay more. I'm gonna make up the cost, and then pay for the cost of. I'll probably pay regular $2.99 for the book, because I think it's that kind of book. But it's very well written, and the art in here is it's very good. I really like the art. It's close to Chris Samney. It's not the exact same, of course, but it reminds me of it. And the writing in here, this whole story, it's a future story, but it's not a future story like everything's all future-y really, but it's, you know, there's flying cars and all that kind of stuff. And but it's really just like not the far future. So like the old people are pretty much us, our generation. You know, the old people have iPhones that don't work and all this kind of stuff. But the story's really compelling, and it's all about everybody in this future always wears masks. And so there's this private investigator who's it's funny. He's a private investigator, paparazzo type person, because he's always taking pictures of everything, and he gets that's his business. He gets money to, you know, spy on people pretty much, but he does it illegally because it's not legal to do that in this future. But everybody wears masks, like I said, and I'm not very sure why, but it's very interesting how this guy gets his work. People call him P.I., and his real name is kind of hard to say. Or not his real name, but his real fake name. It's kind of hard to say, but there's things that go down in this that is like, it's really great story. There's this woman that comes in, and then she wants him to help her out with something, and then things take a turn from there, and then it just go download it. I'll put the link to the website down below where you guys can pick it up, but go check it out. It's worth a read. It's very well written. The art in it is great. Now I'm going to get to the books that I have right here. I got 3 for you. And I'm going to start off with Nova issue number 2. Sorry about that glare. But Nova issue number 2. I really like this issue. I liked all my issues that I bought from the shop. Let me turn off this light. I liked all the issues that I bought from the shop today, or Wednesday, and this issue was just so great. It was a great follow-up to the first issue, where we pick up right where the first issue ended, with Rocket Raccoon and I don't know the other person's name, I forgot it, but the deadliest assassin, green woman with the sword from Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, they're pretty much presenting Sam with the Nova helmet, and he freaks out, of course, and I don't really know Rocket Raccoon's character, but he seems like one of those off-the-wall characters that just is very, he acts very, you know, instinctively, and he's very rash about his actions and all this other kind of stuff. And that was pretty funny. There's a lot of good, funny stuff in here, and a lot of good character stuff where Sam, I don't know whether he's aware of his father's fate, as you know, as we can pretty much infer from the last issue, when Rocket Raccoon and the other one, they come into the hospital bed with the Nova helmet, and they're talking about, we have to talk about your dad. I don't think he's gotten that his father is most likely dead. And this issue is about him. He gets the grips of the Nova helmet, and you know, he becomes Nova, and it's just a really great thing because, you know, he's kind of unaware of what the reality of everything is, but being a kid, he's pretty much enjoying what the Nova suit brings him, and he makes the connection of he's like a human rocket, like his dad would always say. And then at the end of this issue, he bumps into a character that is huge character, literally and in the Marvel universe, and it's really cool to see that character already showing up in this book, and I just can't wait for the third issue. So if you guys haven't picked up Nova number 1 or 2, Jeff Loeb is doing a great job on writing, and Ed McGuinness is doing a great work on art. It's such a beautiful book. Pick it up. It's awesome. Next I have Deadpool, issue number 6. Brian Posehn and Jerry Duggan and Tony Moore. And this is the final issue of the President's stuff, and it didn't disappoint. I'm really satisfied with how the whole thing was handled. The whole he of course finishes off all the presidents, and Deadpool is that kind of character where he doesn't he hears something or he does something, and then he wants payment. He wants payment. He wants his reward for it. He's not somebody that does things for the greater good all the time. And for this, he was hired to get rid of all the presidents by S.H.I.E.L.D., and they were going to give him millions of dollars. And that's what he did, and he wants payment, and there's this whole big thing that's going to happen now. And, the Avengers get in this, and they're really rude to Deadpool, but in a nice way. And you kind of, at the end of this, you're like, Deadpool did all this stuff, and then there's only 2 people that are giving him any credit for it. And so that's really, it sucks to see a character that you like, doing everything for the greater good of people. Well, maybe, he has incentive because he wanted to get paid, but he did all this hard work and died countless amount of times, and at the end there's only 2 people that appreciate it. So it sucks to see him like that. But then we get something really cool that happens with the character that had just been lost. So I'm not gonna go any further than that, but I'm looking forward to future issues, and let's see what Posehn and Duggan do for the next issue. It's going to be really cool, and the cover on it is really cool as well. They had a preview of it. Again, Posehn and Duggan, great writing. Tony Moore, great artist, probably one of my favorites, and that's it about that. And finally, my last comic, the comic that I always pick for last to review because I always feel like it's the best of the week, and that's Daredevil issue number 24. First of all, the cover on it is awesome. I don't know why I love it so much, but I just do. It's like, it kind of symbolizes Daredevil being at the top of the mountain, because you see the statue of this guy holding like this huge thing, and Daredevil's at the top, and it kind of goes with the story of having to overcome adversity. And this is what it's about. Of course, we know Foggy has cancer now. It's out there. It's for real. It can't be anything else. And that's really affecting Matt Murdock. And he's being there for his friend. And there's so many great character things in this. It's just, you're on a low note. You're feeling for Foggy, and you're feeling for Matt. And then then you get to the more action stuff where you're like, okay, now we're in Daredevil mode. But then there's a couple of lines throughout here that kind of like, you're like, oh yeah, there's something a lot bigger and a lot more real happening, and it affects people every day, and that's cancer, and it's a really sad thing. And Wade does a great thing where he kind of puts together Matt Murdock's charm and Matt Murdock's his how desperate he is for things, you know, because as Daredevil, Matt can be very desperate, as we've seen in his past, where he's, you know, and he's got a lot of tension, but, you know, he's also a very charming person as Matt Murdock, and then he kind of fuses them together very well in this one line that he says to Hank Pym closer to the end of the book, and I'm not going to say it, but you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about if you read it. It hit me really hard. I was like, wow, you know, this is, you know, we're back to being, it almost feels like real life. Because, you know, with all these people, with all these superpowers, but then, you know, real life still hits. So it's kind of eye-opening. And it was just written very well. Foggy is characterized very well in this, but not as somebody who's very nervous and, you know, scared, but, you know, he's staying strong, and he's staying even stronger than Matt is. And then we got also a couple of, you know, there's a funny line. I'll tell you guys this funny line. Matt is swinging around New York, and then somebody on a bus, like a kid on a school bus, he says, "Hey, look, there's Red Batman." So I thought that was pretty funny. I can't believe they actually let that get through, actually. But there's a lot of great character stuff in this. There's a lot of great action. We get an interaction between Matt and Kirsten McDuffie, the assistant DA, and that's really cool. And, you know, you wouldn't it's just all really good. I'm not going to say too much about it. The art in it is always great. Chris Samney does a great job. And it did the cover, which is, you know, again, also great. So that's all my comics I had for this week. I'll probably read Spawn issue number 9. I picked it up yesterday. I'll read it some other time and just maybe do a short review on it, just so those of you who aren't familiar with the character of Angela, as is coming to Marvel soon, you know, I don't know anything about her, and if you don't know anything about her, you guys can just watch the review and get to what you know, or get what you need to know, and then, you know, I'll know something as well, because it's her first appearance, so they got to tell us something. But anyways, that's it for my video. I'm Wellington signing off with a comic book lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.